Professor Tashikawa, and other esteemed guests, Reverend E.S. Girgan, Dr. Sonam Wangchuk, Dr. Mehdi, Sunetro Sir, Sir Sevan Rigzin, and all the other esteemed guests. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the special occasion, the launch of a book titled People Called Ladakh, curated by Nisha Nair and Shashi Vilayat, having different story by different authors.
First of all, I would like to welcome everyone and then to introduce the project, People Place project. It's 3P, PPP, and unfortunately today we don't have anyone from the project. So we are organizing this book launch on behalf of the organizers.
Congratulations all, this is a proud moment for everyone involved. Let's give a big round of applause.
Good connection with this practice because my nana, my nani, even my ajang presently used to weave these baskets, elbows. So I'll just read this story first. It's elbow full of happiness. Next to him sits a Tibetan cylindrical flask, a cup filled to the brim with butter tea, and a Philips radio set that seems like his companion for life. His son had got him this valuable radio set when he was in the Ladakh Scouts. Now, as he is retired from the force, Ajang is relieved, for these days he gets a helping hand in the fields and at home. The butter tea keeps him hydrated for the day, and the radio is his source of entertainment on the days when he is all by himself with no one to share his conversations with. His village, located at a distant place from the town, is a small place with only around 10 families in total. The land is quite fertile and cultivable. It is considered Ralton, which means a land deemed to be fertile and conducive for the growth and production of different kinds of vegetation.
So, and when I did my completed my course, I got the opportunity to go with patients to Temjok Hot Springs, where we have spent 10 days over there, and taking that during that time, like lots of senior practitioners are there from different villages of Ladakh and having their own patients. So I have taken that opportunity. I did interview with them because I don't
that went by and of evolving culture. The most important space in Ladakhi house is the kitchen, which is referred as chansa, bansa or thabsang. The main domestic tasks of the household are carried out in the kitchen, which is served as a home gathering place. Families used to gather in this room to sleep, to pray, to eat meals around the hearth, cook and spend time together, especially in the winters. And sometimes even guests are received in this room only. Who need multiple rooms in chilly winters with separate heating device when we can all cuddle up in the core, says my grandpa. My grandpa Haji Abdul Majid, now 95-year-old, a man of Indian Army, he recalls the struggles for food and the challenges of running a family in 1950s in the cold desert.
I would like to share how we started this conversation about our all people of Changthang nomads. As Sunetra and I started a wonderful conversation about Ladakh, specifically about Changthang, as it got really interesting while we were doing the conversation because he had been there for a longer period than me, as I have only been to Changthang twice in my life, so I didn't have much understanding or knowledge about the people over there.
In this particular book is on Balti, particularly on Balti communities of Baltistan in Ladakh, and account of twin district of Leh and Kargil both. So I just summarized the few things in it. and few points which I mention in the book or otherwise which is not mentioned in the book, which I want to highlight. So the Balti language, how Balti language evolved. First, Balti language is a Tibeto-Burman language, widely spoken in Baltistan, Ladakh, Uttarakhand, Nainital, and other part of India and Pakistan as well. Even in Nepal also. According to Professor Jampal Gyatso, a Chinese scholar and an expert in epic of Kisar, Gelam Kisar, and a Khampa Tibetan by origin, according to his initial survey, Balti resembles more than a Kham dialect than the other Tibetan dialect of Yuzhang and Amdo. However, Professor Everett too has defined Balti as one of the Western Tibetan dialect. The great Ptolemy, few of them are pronounced it as a Ptolemy or Ptolemy, named the region Balti, Baltistan or Balti as a Balti, the land of Balti people, which is called Balti. Balti language has many dialects that vary from village to village, even region to region, even hamlet to hamlet. The region and the dialect is varying. For example, Skardo has slightly different Balti speaking people as compared to the people living in the Kapulu region. Same like in Turtuk and Bogdam, there is a slightly different in their dialect as well. And even in Hardas and Karkichu and Lato, there is slightly different in their dialect as well. There are 4 major dialects we can see. The first is the Eastern that include Chorbat and Nubra, and Central Kapulu, Western Skardo, Shigar and Rondo, and Southern Karma and Kargil. The script, how script evolved.
Nisha got in touch with me. She was one of the editors of this book, I think last year sometime, when she had this idea of doing this book. And she sent me the other books that Anshukle mentioned earlier. And in my opinion, I thought it was a brilliant way of capturing everyday experiences that people have. Because especially when you think of Ladakh, say someone from Leh will know a lot about Leh, but very little about Nubra, very little about Changthang, very little about Sham, very little about Kargil. So the diversity of stories in this book provides a lot of interesting insights and provides a lot of interesting everyday experiences that people have, which you would not know otherwise.
Compilation of small little things that revolves around you, as Dawale said. It's not about the topics that this book covers. In a very short time, I just went through a few things and I found it part of the history that has been forgotten somehow. Beautifully compiled, and the best thing about this book is that it gave opportunity to some young writers like you, and I'm sure that it will help, not today, not tomorrow, somehow, someday.
This is the way I have always approached Ladakh. The problem in the modern world is specialization. You have heart specialists, you have cardiothoracic specialists, you have pulmonary thoracic specialists, you have so many things, even a bone marrow specialist, and you have a blood specialist. The problem of specialization has taken away the joy of generalization. Now this book, as Dava has said, this doesn't have anything scientific. I agree with him. This is not to be a science subject heavy on your head that would take away your sleep. It is just to while away time between meals over a coffee, a cup of coffee. If you don't go to sleep, you're having a difficult night, switch on your lamp and read a chapter, finished, and go back to sleep again. You don't have a guilt feeling of I have not finished the book.
It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to be present on the occasion of the book release today. And the whole anthology of these different small short stories, I think it will become a intangible record of people and their livelihoods from Ladakh. And as you might have heard, Ladakh is, in earlier books particularly, Ladakh was often called the land of mystery or a mysterious land, something like that. But this mystery, even the word mystery was also used here also at the back page. I think this mystery is a little misconception in a sense that unless and until you understand the people, understand their culture, tradition, everything about the land, it becomes of course mystery, which it is not actually. So books like this, I hope it helps to dispel the mysteriousness of Ladakh. And then now that Ladakh is also becoming a tourist place, it's a huge tourist destination, we all know. And when I say tourist destination, basically it's just Leh, Nubra, Pangong Leh, Leh, Nubra, Pangong Leh. Every other tourist is doing Leh, Nubra, Pangong Leh. I think most of the tourists. So what they see a road, a lake, a monastery, a moon landscape, a river, a stream, all those things. So it creates a gap in the landscape and the people. So I hope books like this, it also closes the gaps between the landscape and the people.